So I wanted to celebrate Death Stranding's 5th anniversary, and I wanted to make it clear that, first of all, I will not be spoiling the game for the newcomers. This isn't an experience best enjoyed blind, especially if you've never played Death Stranding before. While I'll show some minor of the visuals, you can simply listen if you want to avoid any of the spoilers. I will touch on basic plot details and character names introduced in the early hours, but nothing that isn't immediately clear when you start playing. When Death Stranding was initially released, it divided audience. Many saw it as a mere walking simulator. I was actually somewhat of a skeptic, and I feel very happy that I was wrong. This game is so much more than that, and I can't wait to share why. Death Stranding is not your typical game, and it won't be appealing to everybody. The first 10 hours will test your patience, but it's these hours that will determine whether you'll grow to love or hate the game. And it is indeed a slow burn, but if you stick with it, you'll find an experience like no other. In Death Stranding, you play as Sam Porter Bridges, portrayed by Norman Reedus, who must deliver packages across the post-apocalyptic America, reconnecting fractured cities. The world has been transformed by the mysterious event where the dead become the dangerous BTs, and the living are isolated, relying on couriers like Sam to rebuild the society. At first, the complex narrative and dense terminology can be overwhelming. Terms like timefall is basically rain that accelerates time, and voidouts is basically like an explosion caused by the dead, are actually thrown at you without much of an explanation, at least at the moment. But what impressed me was how these bizarre rules start making sense as you're progressing through the game. I expected to be confused and perhaps even uninvested, but instead I found myself drawn deeper into the world. Kojima's signature storytelling is present here, bizarre, complex, and filled with long cutscenes. But if you're familiar with its style, you'll appreciate the depth and thought behind it all. And once I got past of the initial learning curve, I was fully immersed in its emotional weight of the story. While Sam is a protagonist, it's the smaller cast of supporting characters that also truly shine. Characters like Heartman, Mama, and Deadman are each memorable not just for their unique personalities, but how well their stories are told. Mads Mikkelsen, Troy Baker, and Guillermo del Toro deliver an outstanding performance that elevate the emotional stakes. The intimate focus of a small group of characters allows the game to flesh out each of one's backstory, which added to my connection with them. Even if you don't initially care much about Sam's missions, these performances will definitely pull you in. Death Stranding's gameplay center around traversal, and this is where it differs for most from traditional open world games. Your biggest challenge isn't necessarily enemies, but the environment itself. As you carry packages, you'll have to manage your balance, stamina, and equipment while traveling through rugged terrain. The more weight you carry, the more difficult the journey becomes. Now, the director's cut adds new gadgets like the Buddy Butt, which can carry packages, or even Sam himself, making traversal easier. While these additions are convenient, I sometimes felt like they made the game, well, maybe in some cases even a little bit easy. Now, the original game's challenge lay in the struggle against the terrain, and I occasionally missed that sense of difficulty. While Death Stranding is mostly about delivering packages, there are moments of combat. You'll face two main types of enemies: mules, who try to steal your cargo, and the BTs, like ghost-like entities that threaten to drag you into the underworld. The game offers a variety of weapons and tools to deal with these threats, though combat is not the focus. For the most part, your goal is to avoid confrontations rather than seek them out. Now, in the director's cut, it introduces new combat missions along with the firing range to practice your skills. While these additions offer more variety, they don't overshadow the core of the game, which remains focused on traversal and of course the exploration. The sense of progression in Death Stranding is one of the most rewarding aspects. As you complete deliveries, you unlock new tools and structures to make the future missions easier. The satisfaction of overcoming increasingly difficult terrain, paired with the steady flow of new equipment, kept me engaged throughout my 50 hours playthrough even more. Even 30 hours in, I was still discovering new gadgets and mechanics, which speaks how well placed the game is. While the gameplay can be, well, somewhat tedious at times, especially when you fall or lose cargo, it's clear that the frustration is intentional. The game wants you to feel the weight of Sam's burden, and when you're succeeded, it feels like it was just so damn rewarding. Visually, Death Stranding is, oh my goodness, breathtaking. It's one of the most photorealistic games I've ever experienced, with stunning landscapes that feel vast and immersive. The character models, particularly Norman Reedus and Mads Mikkelsen, are rendered with incredible detail. From the texture of the environments to the facial animations, the game pushes the boundaries of graphical fidelity. The improvements of the director's cut, particularly on the PlayStation 5, make the game even more visually impressive. The DualSense controller haptic feedback and the adaptive triggers can also add a new layer of the immersion, especially during the traversal. Now, beyond the technical graphics, art design of Death Stranding is unique and actually quite captivating. The eerie, otherworldly landscapes combined with Kojima's surrealist vision make for a setting unlike anything else in gaming. Whether you're trudging through rain-soaked mountains or crossing desolate plains, every environment feels carefully crafted to evoke both awe and unease. One of the most innovative aspects of Death Stranding is its asynchronous multiplayer. As you build structures like maybe ladders, bridges, and roads, they can appear in the other people's worlds, and vice versa. The system creates a sense of shared experience, even though you never directly interact with other people. Receiving likes from other people for your structures not only helps you progress faster, but also reinforces the game's central theme of connection, in a world where everyone is isolated, and the ability to help others. Whether by leaving a ladder over a cliff or building a road, adds a layer of warmth to otherwise bleak setting. With the upcoming release of Death Stranding 2, I am super excited to see how Kojima will expand on the foundation laid by this groundbreaking game. After 5 years, Death Stranding, including of course the director's cut, remains a standout in the gaming industry. A unique experience that blends narrative, gameplay, and visuals in ways few other games dare to attempt. It's not for everyone, but if you're willing to embrace its unconventional design, you may find one of the most rewarding gaming experiences of the past decade. If you've never given Death Stranding a shot, now it is indeed a perfect time. The director's cut adds enough content and quality of life improvements to make it even more accessible, and the journey is one you won't soon forget. Tell me down in the comments as well, have you tried out Death Stranding? Have you platinumed it like I did? I see you guys all, have a wonderful day, and yeah, have a good one.